So I just got out of a 6-year long marriage and I'm entering the dating world as a single mom. It has been an adventure. And the other night I went on a first date, and on the way to the date I started to get worried that I was not dressed up nice enough. I was wearing jeans and Timberland boots because it was cold, and I was like, man, what's this guy going to be wearing? But when I got there, he was in sweatpants and a long sleeve t-shirt, so I wasn't worried anymore. And yes, I looked at him and I said, why are you wearing sweatpants? And he said verbatim, because I do not give a so
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you.
We don't care.
wow, we are off to a rolling beginning. And let me just say, things only went downhill from there. I found out after our second drink, because I was like, keep him coming, baby, that he was recently out of rehab and that he relapsed from time to time. Also, he mentioned, I don't know why we went out, because he mentioned that I'm not his type at all because he's 28 and he doesn't want to get married till he's 50 when he can be rich enough to marry a young 20-year-old. And I'm 27, so clearly I'm already too old for him. I literally think he was just bored and wanted somebody to talk to that night. Like, I don't know why else he invited me out.
So here we have a divorced single mother who has divorced her husband, and she has gone back out into the dating market, and she has come to realize that the grass is not greener on the other side. You know, a lot of these women, guys, they believe in the strong and independent women narrative, and they go out here, they divorce their husbands, and they realize, oh crap, men are not committing to me. Men are not interested in me. Men don't care anymore about me. Okay, why can't you just step up and wife up a divorced single mother? And you know what, guys? I have no sympathy for these women who, fail to stay with their husbands. People treat marriage these days as if it's just like shoes. You just change your pair whenever you feel like it, because Big Daddy government will come in and subsidize your life if you choose to remove a man. But what is going on, guys? It is Taylor The Fiend back again with another response video. And on today's show, guys, we are going to be kicking it off by breaking down a clip from this woman right here, who is a freshly divorced single mother. Guys, before we jump into it, as always, make sure that you come and join us over on Locals. The link is in the description. There's exclusive content for supporters, and if you're not a supporter, that's totally cool too. We're archiving a lot of content slowly and moving it over there, guys, because we don't really know what the hell we're allowed to say with our YouTube overlord Susan these days. So make sure that you come and join up, guys. Totally free if you just want to come and see some of the archived content. But let's jump into what this woman has to say. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Let's take a listen.
So I just got out of a 6-year long marriage and I'm entering the dating world as a single mom. It has been an adventure.
Yeah, I bet. Right? I actually believe her when she uses the word adventure, okay? Because what these, it amazes me that we've got a whole bunch of men going out here choosing willingly, Lord knows why, to date these single mothers. And then they think that any form of quote unquote connection that they build with these women is actually real. Guys, take note of the word that this woman used right here. She's been out on an adventure. Do you want to re-wife up, a girl who has gone on been on adventures with dudes? I don't know if that's the word you'd want to hear, but hey, maybe you're into that.
And the other night I went on a first date, and on the way to the date I started to get worried that I was not dressed up nice enough. I was wearing jeans and Timberland boots because it was cold, and I was like, man, what's this guy going to be wearing? But when I got there...
Pause right here, okay? You'll get a lot of questions from guys saying crap like, why doesn't my wife dress up for me anymore? Why doesn't my girlfriend dress up for me? Crap like that. But she'll go out dressed up to the town. Notice how this woman is going out to meet an essentially random dude, and she is concerned that she is dressed up, in my view, not dressed down enough. So notice how she says she doesn't feel dressed up enough because she's too covered up because it's cold. Right? Yeah, that should tell you everything you need to know, guys. I don't care how many times these girls say oh, I go out on the town for myself with my girls just to have some fun. It's like you dress the way you do to get attention from dudes, which is cool, but let's just not lie about it, eh?
He was in sweatpants and a long sleeve t-shirt, so I wasn't worried anymore. And yes, I looked at him and I said, "Why are you wearing sweatpants?" And he said verbatim, "Because I do not give a." So.
And these girls sure know how to pick them, don't they? Right? For girls who say that they want caring, compassionate men, it's just super convenient, right? It just has to be one of the most convenient things on the face of the planet, how they always seem to end up, having these fun adventures, shall we say, with dudes who, quote, literally don't give a damn about what they even wear to said event, right? And that's why she's seeing him, because he doesn't care, right? You will have dudes come out of marriages, come out of relationships, and they'll be like, "Man, I put in so much effort into this relationship. I did everything for her, and she left." Yeah, that's exactly why she left, right? Like, I don't care. I would much rather watch what the people say rather than what they do. And these girls, they spend all of their time chasing dudes who don't give a crap. Don't believe me, guys? See how much time girls spend on their phones, right? Like, it's insane.
Wow, we are off to a rolling beginning. And let me just say, things only went downhill from there. I found out after our second drink, because I was like, "Keep him coming, baby," that he was recently out of rehab and that he relapsed from time to time.
Yeah, and she's smiling and giggling while she says this, by the way. Like, this is just, like, this is funny. Do you guys not, if you were in this situation, would you not, like, okay, let me pose a hypothetical question to you, okay? You were considering making this woman your girlfriend, and then you find this video. How embarrassing is this? Right? Like a lot of these girls, they want to be treated like, wined and dined and treated like a princess, and be privy to elite social circles that you as a man have developed after years of grinding in your craft and developing a reputable name. Okay, so when they get in these situations, like, why would you take a girl into a social situation knowing how embarrassing this stuff is that exists of her on the internet? Like, am I supposed to, like, introduce you to my friends, have a long-term introduce you to my parents, when this is what they can find of you on the internet? You just going out with random dudes who are coming out of rehab, who don't give a crap, who are wearing, like, I forget what he's wearing, like sweatpants or something. Like, and I'm the guy that you're now with. Like, you accepted something. Like, so what? Like, it just makes no sense, man. It just makes no sense.
Also, he mentioned, I don't know why we went out, because he mentioned that I'm not his type at all, because he's 28 and he doesn't want to get married till he's 50 when he can be rich enough to marry a young 20-year-old. And
the reason why you went out with him is because he didn't care, and because you're not his type. Girls will become so incredibly insecure. Like, if, for example, guys, if a girl is, like, in any way attached to you, and she's a blonde girl, okay, and she asks, what type of girls are you into, or, like, what do you find attractive, any of those sorts of questions, and you say, "Oh, I like brunettes." Let's just say the girl that's attracted to you is a tall blonde, right? And you say, like, "Oh, I'm into kind of, like, as a tall guy, I'm into, girls who are a little bit shorter, and I really like brunettes," right? Watch that girl eventually just change her hair to brown and, like, stop wearing heels. You see what I'm saying? Like, they become so insecure when you say, "Oh, you're not my type," because they're used to being everybody's type. You see that, guys? They're used to dudes just, I watched a guy, I can't remember his name for the life of me. I watched a video before I recorded today's video that you're watching right now, and this was the most hilarious crap I've ever seen. It was like some, I forget your name, bro. I apologize. It was like a very black-pilled dude. He's a young dude, and he was making a video doing, Tinder experiments, just saying outlandish crap to these women. But he did one video where he was pretending to be a MILF, or a GILF, he called it, right? And the dudes in the DMs were so down bad, it's ridiculous. A lot of these women, and that guy's hilarious, by the way. If anyone wants to drop his name in the comments, hilarious videos. These girls are used to getting pandered to. So when they don't, all of a sudden it's like a moth to a flame type situation.
27, so clearly I'm already too old for him. I literally think he was just bored and wanted somebody to talk to that night. Like, I don't know why else he invited me out.
Oh yeah, to talk to you. Yeah, I'm sure that's it. Like we're just not obviously, leaving out the critical elements here, but it is what it is. But guys, we are going to be jumping into some more clips here. This is a bit of a mashup of, I think it's when women get rejected. So as we go through, again, make sure to leave your thoughts and your comments, and let's take a listen to some more clips. And these are of different girls altogether.
Girls don't want flowers for Valentine's Day. We want cows.
You wait. So you want to get married, right? I see a lot of women say that they want to get married and they want to have a relationship and stuff like that. But if you ask them if they're like, are they wife material? The answer is generally no.
I just want a husband that can cook. It's called cooking, not cook queen. Get back in the kitchen, king. Make me a sandwich.
Hey, I'm sure that there'd actually be dudes out there who would be willing to make you meals and cook for you. But in fact, there are men out there who would be willing to do that for you. So my question is, where are they? If that's what you quote unquote want, where exactly are those men? Because there would be one there if that's actually what you wanted. But of course, the words don't really match up, do they?
It's Friday night and I'm going on a date. It's Valentine's Day weekend. Here's the thing. And the guy I'm going on a date with is going to meet me in the front of this restaurant. So let's see. Hey, are we going to have a second date?
Second date? Hell no.
I like him already, mate. Hell no. Look at this guy. He's like, nah. He's probably annoyed at her. I like that response.
Are we going to have a second date?
Second date? Hell no.
Am I the only one as well that just finds it super weird that this woman decides to pull out a phone and record her date? Like, do people just not actually communicate anymore? We're just recording each other at dinner tables. To me, that's just super weird, man.
So I met up with this girl at a rooftop bar, and prior to meeting, on the app, her pictures were totally normal. She had a job kind of similar to mine, and she just seemed really sweet. I get there, and she had clearly been camped out for a little bit because she already had several empty cups and empty shot glasses in front of her, and she was hammered. But I was just thinking, okay, she likes to have fun. That's fine. What wasn't fine was when she started confessing that she cheats on her boyfriend of 4 years with old men, confessing to other literal legal crimes. And then to top it all off, she takes her two hands, grabs my can, screams and says, I'm allowed to do this because we're friends, right? How do you respond to that to someone you've met one time?
So we think.
Here's the kicker. You don't respond. You just leave. Like, what's with everyone having this willingness to sit down with people who are clearly crazy and like explain to them stuff? Guys, like, we are not, I've made this point so many times. We are not in the business of sitting down and trying to convince people to do crap, or like, try and change. If people don't want to change their mind, if they want to go out and do weird crap, guys, it is not your responsibility to have half an hour long conversations to get someone to treat you better. Right? If people are treating you like you leave the person, man. I don't care if you're a guy. I don't care if you're one of the 6 women watching, guys. It's like, if you're in these situations where someone is doing crap like this, it's not okay. And the sad thing that I notice about a lot of situations like this, guys, is that women, for some reason, just get the idea that they can get away with literally anything. Right? Like, if you guys have gone out clubbing or towning or whatever you want to call it, you will see the amount of outlandish crap that women do in general that is severely worse than men, generally speaking. But they get away with it just because they're girls, so they continue to up the behavior, and it just gets worse and worse. I'm sure many of you guys know what I'm talking about, and it's pretty disgusting. And they do it to other girls too. Like, the woman did it to this girl, so...
Abs, my cannon's like...
Okay.
Screams and says, I'm allowed to do this because we're friends, right?
No.
How do you respond to that to someone you've met one time?
So I think that the guy who works at the front desk at my gym is like super cute. So I'm gonna flirt with him when I check in and just like, I don't know, see what happens. Hi.
Oh no.
I'm checking in for Geffen. You went to school in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
I went to school in Chicago too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hey. I hope that was staged and that was fake. Okay. You know, it's interesting how girls will say, like, oh, dating apps are easy. You just got to say something more interesting than hey. But, like, you put girls in a situation where they're hitting on dudes or they're trying to make things happen, and they are absolutely terrible at it.
ET here, phoning home. I'm not dating any more Aquariuses. I'm only dating Tauruses or Capricorns.
So today is literally Valentine's Day, and I just found out that I'm getting cheated on. This is the email I saw this morning. Wait, there's more. He literally bought the premium membership for 6 months. That was $80. So this is my divorce outfit. It's from Target. Boots are emu. Oh, and if anyone knows any good pawn shops nearby, let me know.
Dude, I don't understand this, like, whole crap of, like, okay, let's just assume for a second that this clip is real and this woman isn't just making this for, you know, for attention on social media, which is a big if. Notice how she decides to, you know, like, girls will always just throw this stuff out on the internet, but let's just assume that it's real, okay? And it's a real clip. Why on earth are you just sharing this stuff on the internet, right? Like, just throwing your personal life absolutely everywhere. I'm not saying what the dude did was right. If he's cheating on you, that's obviously scumbag behavior, okay? Like, cheating is not okay. I don't care if you're a guy. I don't care if you're a girl. I think cheating is a terrible thing to do to someone. But why are we just throwing out our personal details on the internet? And again, this, like, you can't handle it like an adult. This is, man, I don't know how old this woman is, okay? But she's an adult, right? Why are we just throwing this stuff out on the internet? You know, the conclusion that I come to as well, we're just doing it for attention, I guess. Okay? Which, I don't know, I would consider quite embarrassing. Like, really, you're like, haha, I got cheated. People wear, this woman is literally wearing getting cheated on as though it's a badge of honor. It's disgusting.
So this is... Anyone knows any good pawn shops nearby, let me know.
So here's what I'm wearing to go get broken up with the day before Valentine's Day. I started with the sweater with some slits down the middle to show a little bit of skin in case it goes well, but of course some boots to show him I'm not afraid to walk out of his life. And on my eyes I wore my runniest mascara for dramatic effect.
Yeah, you're an absolute psycho. Guys, we are going to be continuing into today's magazine article, I believe, and I've forgotten what this one is. So let's take a little... Oh, no, I remember what this is when I read it. Okay, so this is written... I'm going to pull this up, and I want you guys to not laugh, okay? Like, keep it... I'm telling you guys, keep a dead straight face when I show you this, okay? This article, before I even tell you the title, is written by a, quote, woman's empowerment coach. That is what a fantastic scam operation. I love that. You know, I've told you guys the other day, I made a video where I was saying, you know, there must be so much money in just lying to women, right? Like, people like Derek Jackson, like, selling all this crap. Like, I don't know, these people selling like $3,000 courses on how to, like, what the... I don't know, man. But today we're going to be looking at the breaking point. Why do women initiate divorce more than men? So let's take a listen to what this individual has to say. Written by Julie Danielson. According to a 2015 study, women initiate 69%, we'll call it 70, of all divorces. So why do women initiate divorce more than men? In my experience as a women's empowerment coach, wow, that's like wearing a badge that just says you're a dumbass. Or maybe you're just really intelligent because you're making money off of all of these desperate women, but it is what it is. I help women navigate the emotional turmoil of divorce. This would make me a pretty pro-divorce person. I myself divorced once. No way, that's crazy. Couldn't have guessed. Usually when a woman comes to me, they have already decided to divorce, but there are times that I wonder if a divorce was necessary or if it was just easier. Last week during my field research, I met a woman, okay, it was my makeup lady at Ulta, who immediately started to describe her marital woes to me upon me telling her of my vocation. When she told me her husband wanted a divorce, he suddenly started to do all the things that she wanted him to do all along. But in her words, it was too little too late. I want you guys to notice how, like, this is always the logic and the reasoning, okay? Girls will say, oh, I brought up divorce to him multiple times, and then this most recent time he said he would do everything for me, but I decided that it was too little too late. Really? You didn't get divorced all of those other times that you tried to divorce, but you divorce him the one time that he caves into what you want? That's crazy. It almost seems to me, guys, like the moment that you lack a backbone in a relationship, women choose to go through with the divorce or leaving you. Right? We covered a video. I've made this point probably like 5 or 6 times now on the many videos that I made. We did a video very early on this channel where a woman, I think it was like, yeah, she was raising, she got pregnant to a dude and they had a kid together. And she was complaining that the man would always go out and party and he wouldn't pay attention to her, all of this stuff, blah, 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 right? And that she wanted a divorce and everything. And the moment the relationship dissipated was the moment that he decided to do everything that she wanted. Don't you find that just incredibly convenient, gentlemen? You know, not all the times before that, you know, the months and months of her saying that the relationship was so difficult. It's the time when he actually listens to her that she decides to walk away, because you've given her that closure, guys, you see? It was a little too late. I then posed a question to her to try and get her to think harder about it. What would happen if, instead of being too late, you went all in? A last-ditch effort, maybe, without any strings, expectations, just pure love for your husband and your child. She was quiet and even seemed a little annoyed. Yeah, the reason she's annoyed is because she wants to leave her husband because she views him as weak. Right? Like, I'm telling you, man, you throw all the logic out the window, throw all the reasoning out the window. Girls hate weakness. They absolutely do. You don't believe me? If you've got a girlfriend right now and you want to lose her real quick, just go and cry in front of her a few times, guys. Like, go and tell her your feelings, and before you know it, she'll be, she'll be Snapchatting some random dudes, and you'll be like, oh, Taylor, that's crazy, right? That's just the way it works. It's unfortunate, but it's the way it works. I said, I bet he walks into the room, he doesn't have anything, what? I bet when he walks into the room, he doesn't have to say or do anything, and you are already annoyed just by him breathing. This stirred a laugh, and she told me that I nailed it. Resentment seeped into their marriage like the Black Plague, impossible to cure but much easier to escape. In a marriage, resentment can grow with every annoying comment, every roll of the eyes, and with every failure to connect. Resentment is the marriage killer. Women crave connection, but they don't know how to ask for it. Oh, jeez, man. Oh, boy. Women seek closeness and vulnerability in a marriage where, under the veil of marriage, it is safe to be real and raw with our chosen one or soulmate. What a beaten horse of a word this is. When she reaches out for that connected feeling and is met with the wrong response, she lays a brick down. Then one day, the wall is too high to penetrate it. Okay, settle down, J.K. Rowling. In its simplest form, deep down, women crave connection with their partners, but many women have the erroneous belief that if their husbands really loved them, they would instinctively know what their wives wanted, so a man needs to be proficient in mind reading to know how to satisfy their wife's need for a connection. And what makes someone feel loved and valued varies hugely from person to person. For example, a dozen red roses every Friday may symbolize love and deep connection to one woman. To another, flowers mean nothing, but feeding and entertaining the kids so she can enjoy a long, peaceful bath means everything. Guys, articles like this are so incredibly stupid to me. Like, because they kind of peddle the idea that you as a man, in order to save your marriage, in order to save your relationship, in order to get the girl of your dreams, you need to understand what kind of connection that she's missing, and it's your job as a man to fill it. So if she requires flowers, you get her flowers. If she requires, XYZ so that she can relax in a bath and not have to worry about the kids, it is your duty to do so. Guys, it is not your duty to make other people happy. It is not. The more you go out there and the more you try and do crap like this, that, articles like this try to perpetuate, the more your relationships will dissolve. Now, you can choose to not listen to me as an animated vampire on the internet, and I would totally understand, but I would encourage you guys to go out there and give it a try for yourself. If you want to break up a marriage, guys, just, start going out there, start crying, start telling girls how you feel, do everything for them, and before you know it, it'll be all said and done. But guys, let's jump into a couple of Reddit stories that I have pulled up here today, and then we will wrap up today's episode. So let's take a look at this first one, and this is absolutely disgusting. I could not believe this article when I first saw it, okay? So this is a Reddit article from the subreddit Dating Over 30. Now, I might have to make this a little bit bigger, and this is incredibly difficult right now, given the way everything's positioned. So let's just... This is a bit rough. Okay, so we have an article here, and it is titled, When and How to Settle as a 30-Year-Old Female. You know, you guys are going to have to bear with me here as I try and sort this out. For some reason, it's just changed the formatting. Okay, so let's take a look. As a straight woman, I've always heard that I should settle for someone who likes me more than I like them. After a very long dry period, I am finally getting back out there. I am faced with the option to date a nice guy who is fine and likes me, but there's just no X factor, and it is tearing me up a little. There is someone I met a few months ago who has been honest about liking me. We casually saw each other a few months ago, but I ditched out as I was not over my ex at all. So here we have a woman who is alpha widowed by another dude. Months have gone by and he has asked me out again. I'm feeling ready to date, but torn between having fun, chasing the exciting and unknown, and growing up, dating this person who is perfectly fine and not grossed out by seeing me without clothes. Right, so this is an individual, by the way. What a crazy way to phrase this. Okay, so this woman is torn between, at 30 plus years of age, 30 on the dot, which I would hazard a guess and say she's probably over this, but she's 30 or 30 plus years of age, and she doesn't know whether to settle down or to continue having fun, right? And this is the problem, okay? The more you go out there and the more you have fun, the less guys are going to consider you as a viable relationship option. Now, you can choose to not appreciate that, you can choose to ignore that, but the fact of the matter is that a lot of girls are going to find out the hard way when they're 40 and alone with cats. You ask a lot of girls, man, like these career women and these girls who go out here and do all this stuff, and you know, they have their adventures and then they want to settle down. A lot of them find it harder and harder to settle down. Okay, they don't respect the dude, or the guy's not the guy that they want, or all this kind of crap, because you don't have access. Because the further you go, men with self-respect don't want to deal with you. And that's the way it goes. Men who have options, men who have spent their time grinding, working on themselves, whatever it may be, which I'm all for, by the way. Hit the gym, guys, make your money, do what you enjoy out of life. Those men who do that and cultivate options, they don't want to marry you. They're not interested. I've always been someone who dates people more attractive than me, as my personality is my strong suit. But those relationships obviously have not worked out. Yeah, maybe your personality just fell flat. I don't know, bro. I don't know what to tell you. During these relationships, I always feel insecure, which is, of course, even less attractive. So now I'm debating ditching my shallowness and settling down with this person or someone else who is kind and emotionally available. However, I can't seem to get excited about these boys because they always seem to be looking for a girlfriend who checks boxes rather than the romantic notion of us meeting in some serendipitous way and falling head over heels for each other's personalities. Let me ask you this question. While you're single and you're in your 20s and you're going out there and you're having fun, were you looking for the Prince Charming? No. You were looking for that attractive guy who maybe you could lock down, and you were trying your luck at that. These girls will try and pitch it as though like they're the people who really care about love and they're the people who really care about connection. No, they don't. You could have had your love and connection from the age of 18, but here you are, 30 years of age, on a Reddit, deciding whether or not you want to take a man seriously who, in your words, is perfectly fine, but your ego is too big. Let's continue. I know that life is about settling and finding a way to be happy with what you have, but does the ick feeling go away? I've certainly been on the other side of this dynamic more often than not, so I have a ton of empathy for the men who like me. To be clear, it isn't how they look that's the issue. That's probably cap. But the fact that they are so overtly interested in locking me down, that is gross to me. I would argue it's a combination of both of these things. It feels like I'm checking a box, which I am, but I guess I sort of like the chase. I am really hoping to outgrow this toxic mindset of chasing attractive men who would usually not be into me. If anyone has been through this and gotten to the other side by successfully settling, please give me your words of wisdom. I also know I'm posting to Reddit where I'm sure to get a ton of hate for being an ungrateful woman, but that's sort of the point. I want the honest feedback. So let's just do an experiment and check if this woman is like. This is crazy to me. Look at this, okay? I know that I'm posting on Reddit where I'm sure to get a ton of hate for being an ungrateful woman. You can be any kind of woman under the sun on Reddit and you are going to get support. So let's take a look. I don't know if you guys can see this. So she's got 82 upvotes on this. It sounds like there are more people supporting you than not. So, you know, take that as you will. Edit. Details changed for anonymity. Thanks so much for your thoughtful answers. The overwhelming feedback I'm getting is either A, don't settle, life is short, and B, who the hell are you? Don't get with someone you're not 100% sure about because they deserve so much better. All of this has reinforced that I'm nowhere near ready to date until I can appreciate someone like this and be grateful or thankful for someone who wants to love me rather than looking for someone to check a box. So I guess this woman has decided to go out there and continue her fun, but don't worry, I'm sure it'll get easier for her as she gets older and continues to rack up the numbers, because apparently that's what we're being told these days, guys. These strong independent ladies, they're going to be totally fine, I am sure. But guys, let's continue on to the next and last Reddit story of today, and then we will wrap up today's episode. And this one's a bit of a long one, so we might do half of it and see how we go. Let's take a listen. I'm a 31-year-old female dating a functional workaholic who is a 32-year-old male, but how does this work in the future? I've been dating my current partner for 8 months now, and I couldn't be happier with how he treats me, respects me, voices how much he cares about me, and goes out of his way for acts of service for me. He's incredible, kind, intelligent, emotionally aware man. He wants a family and ready to settle down, and thinks about things like moving in together, buying a home, marriage, kids. We're largely aligned. One piece that has been a lot for him and a hard mental hurdle for me was his work has been an extreme commitment. He's in a trendy industry where he's fairly well known, and a facilitator to this is being a partner in his firm. As such, he's got a dual sense of commitment to grow his company, but also grow his brand. Notice how this man is going through professional struggles, right? It's difficult for him. He's got to work a lot of hours, and this woman says it's a hard mental hurdle for her. Like, you know, man works hard, woman most affected. Geez. As such, he's got a dual sense of commitment to grow his company, blah, blah, blah. He puts in 60 to 70 hours per week on the regular for work. Conference weeks more like 80 plus hours, and then when he's got to travel, it's more like 100 plus hours because he's not actually there. That being said, so far, outside of missing him in the weeks that he's gone, he's done a fairly incredible job, all considering of quality, making time for me consistently. While I'm stupidly happy today, my worries and anxieties lie more in the future. In the future, what happens in a couple of years if things keep following this course? And we're going to skip down here. I just don't know how sustainable this is. He says that he can take on work and even was disappointed that I didn't act excited about this new and exciting for him opportunity. And I feel slightly ashamed that I don't feel happy for him, but I just don't. The founding partners are way more extreme than he is. One of them has been doing this for many years and wants to leave, and I can only imagine how difficult it is for him and his wife. Put the business first no matter what. Screw your social life, family, and priorities outside of work. Where does that land us in planning a wedding? In having kids, in dealing with health and family issues, and planning for the future if they don't want him to move continents or be in every conference possible? Where does that land us in staying in good health and having a long life? If work is the be-all end-all for every future equation, how can that work for a long-term partnership? And here's the kicker, guys, okay? I don't want to break up with him. I love him dearly. We are crazy about each other. We're good together. But I'm seeing such patterns of work telling him to jump, and his response is how high. That gave me little confidence and no light at the end of the tunnel for the scale being tipped in my favor in the future when my focus will be family, friends, community, and his will always be work. Notice this, guys. Look at this, right? Right here. There's no light at the end of the tunnel for the scale being tipped in my favor. Right, so you have here a hard-working man who's happy to provide. He wants to have a house with you. He wants to have kids with you. And he's happy to provide and go out there and work. And your complaint is that he works. Yeah, no crap he works. It's what he does, right? These girls, guys, they want a guy who simultaneously works very hard and can provide for them and puts in the long hours, but then they also need a guy who's going to be available to her and do all this kind of crap. But the thing is, you can't have both. Right, this is the kind of logic where girls think that they can go out here 40 plus years of age, work as a lawyer, and then turn around and have kids. It does not work. In the same way, you want a guy who's going to work hard for you, provide for you. He's not always going to be there to look after your needs. Right? Notice how it's in her best interest to get married and have kids because she's running out of time and she's frustrated at this guy for putting in the hard yards. Guys, we're going to be calling today's episode there. As always, remember to drop your comments on the way out, guys. Make sure that you come and join us over on Locals. If you're interested in becoming a supporter, the link is in the description, but it's also totally free to join to see some archived content that we will slowly be moving from YouTube. So if you guys are wondering, where videos are going and crap like that, if you see some disappearing in here and there, that's where they are going. But otherwise, guys, make sure that you take care of yourselves, and I will be seeing you all in the next one. Peace. Yo, what is going on, guys? Past Taylor here. Just want to say thank you if you made it to the end of today's video. Before you head out, there's just a few announcements that I'd like to make. The first is that my editor, who goes through all of the blood, sweat, and tears of putting together these videos for us to endure, has started his own YouTube channel. I'm going to leave a link to his channel in the video description below, so make sure that you go and show him some support by going and giving him a sub. Also, at the very bottom of the video descriptions, there is a link for those of you who are interested in becoming an editor. I'm not sure how long I'm going to leave these applications open for, but if you're interested in working with me behind the scenes, there will be a link at the very bottom of the video description. Lastly, guys, as always, don't forget to come and join us over on Locals. You guys might have noticed that a lot of YouTube content creators are kind of branching off to different platforms, and that's because we really don't know what we're allowed to say or do, and a lot of us don't really know how long we will be around for. So guys, make sure that you come and join us over on Locals. It's totally free to join. There's a support option if you're interested. There's also exclusive content and stuff like that over there, but it's totally free if you're just wanting to go and join, guys. The link is in the description, so make sure that you come and join us. But as always, guys, make sure you're taking care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.